Surely they must have run out of ideas for music biopics. Well, you're wrong, they haven't, and this time, it's weird.
Put it in.
Hello and welcome to Screen OD, the channel for people who love TV, movies and streaming. My name is Tim, I'm an editor and a journalist who's been writing and talking about the media industry for more than 15 years, which is nothing compared to the amount of time that Weird Al Yankovic has been making music. And this is a story that will light up your life.
I'm tired of people thinking I'm some kind of joke.
Your dad and I agreed it will be best if you just stop being who you are and doing the things you love.
Okay, so what's this one all about? Well, this is the story of Weird Al Yankovic, who many of you may already know is one of the greatest parody musicians of all time. He's covered everyone's music from the likes of Michael Jackson and Madonna all the way through to people like Nirvana. In fact, it's considered a rite of passage in the music industry that you know you've made it when Weird Al does your work. This is his story, and it's told in a way that is, well, suitably weird, as you might expect.
My whole life, all I wanted.
I'm afraid we found your son at a polka party.
Just to make up new words to a song that already exists.
Oh, well, you should do that then.
Oh, my little hungry one, open up a package of my banana.
Dude, I've got chills.
What becomes clear very quickly when you start watching Weird is that this is a parody of a life of someone who's famous for doing parody, which seems a little bit complicated, but actually makes perfect sense when you think about it, because this looks like Rocket Man or it looks like Bohemian Rhapsody. It's got a real feel to it, which is kind of why it works, because you start off in a fairly believable setting and you start to hear the story of a young Al growing up. You see how his life develops, but very quickly we're catapulted to the stage in his life, which you often get in these kinds of biopics, where drink and drugs and everything is got to a point where he's going to come crashing back down.
Every once in a great while, I can spot a talent that I know is the future of music. But first, we gotta find you a stage name. Al Yankovic. It's long, it's hard to pronounce. So I'm just gonna throw this out there. Weird Al Yankovic. I love it.
What this film does so well is it takes a lot of the traits that you see in all of these music biopics, and there's so many of them being made right now, and to borrow a phrase from one of the great music parodies that perhaps came before this one, it turns them up to 11. Now, this isn't Spinal Tap. It's designed to feel more real than that at times, but certainly as the journey goes on, things become less and less real. Weird Al is played in this film by Daniel Radcliffe, who is clearly having a great time in what must be a fantastic role to play. Now, when Weird Al, played by Daniel Radcliffe, gets involved in a relationship with a kind of version of Madonna, played brilliantly by Rachel Evan Wood, that's when things really start to get out of control. The drugs, the drink, the power play games, this is where his career goes, well, sort of everywhere. Up, down, and back again.
Weird Al has taken the world by storm.
Do I know you?
Madonna, I was wondering if you were going to do a parody of my song, Like a Virgin.
I'm curious, is that song autobiographical?
Yes. Except for the fact that I've had a lot of sex.
This is a movie that delights in taking the tropes of the music biopic and it plays with them, but it messes about with them in plain sight to the point that they're actually telling you what they're doing a lot of the time. And that's why it feels so good as a viewer, because you're taken along on the ride. You don't feel like you've got the wall pulled over your eyes. You feel like you are in on a joke. And the best parody, the best humour comes when the audience are carried along with you. And it's done really excellently in this piece of work. It's written well, it's directed well, it's slick in the way that it's put together, and what could just be something that felt like a few cheap jokes is turned into, you know, an hour and 40 minutes of really excellent cinema.
Name me one creative genius that doesn't have a checkered past involving alcohol,
That's the medicine.
and drugs.
I think Madonna's a bad influence on you. What? No offense.
Another really important and brilliant role in the film is that of Dr. Demento, who is the mentor of Weird Al and wears a top hat all the time and is played brilliantly by Rainn Wilson, who of course you will know from The Office, the US version of The Office, where he plays Dwight Schrute, and of course has been in many brilliant comedy movies as well. His role in the film and the way that he plays off of Daniel Radcliffe and the way that his relationship builds and develops across this movie, viewers can also look forward to more than their fair share of cameo appearances in the film as well from big names, the likes of Lin-Manuel Miranda, who of course created Hamilton. You've got Will Forte, Jack Black, Conan O'Brien is in the film, but one that is really worth looking out for is the record executive, who is played by, you guessed it, Al Yankovic. Yep, he's in the film as well, but he's not playing himself.
I'm a train wreck. My parents wrote me off. I pushed away my band. You're all just a bunch of normals. I'm the weird one. You gotta take care of yourself. I saw in you something special. An artist with something to give to the world.
And of course, anyone who goes up and then down needs a redemption story in Hollywood, and that's what we get layered on nicely and thickly as the movie starts to go through its paces. Now, we also see some pretty extraordinary scenes at different times, which I won't tell you about because I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but let's just say that there may be some action with Pablo Escobar in there at some point. And we all know what Pablo Escobar is famous for. You'll have to tune in to the film to see exactly what happens. This is a movie that will delight people who are fans of comedy and parody and have an interest in music. It's not Spinal Tap to the point that there are parts of it which feel more down to earth, that feel a little more relatable.
In front of all the billions of people watching around the world right now, all I want to say is be as weird as you want to be. Yeah! You will never find true happiness, so you can truly accept who you are.
Weird, the Al Yankovic Story is one that I highly recommend you go and try out. It's not often that you get films that are as clever and as funny and as silly as this, all in equal measure. It's not one that relies too much on any one type of comedy, but it brings together different elements to keep you interested, to keep the story going, and to keep you laughing throughout. So go try it out now. It's available on the Roku Channel.
Thank you.
Oh, Al, you can't smoke in here. I totally deserve that.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, why not hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Screen OD for all the best content direct to your feed. We'll see you again very soon.